Hey, what's going on, guys? Hopefully you are having a great day so far. Enjoyed your weekend that just passed as well. So we're going to go over a couple of things for training camps. I got a couple of guys to look at, and then also just a couple of quick notes regarding Brian Flores' take on Tua. So let's go ahead and jump in. Before we get to training camps, on my notes, I do want to tackle a couple of things. So number one, ESPN just released an update maybe 30 minutes ago. So Chester Rogers and Ricardo Lewis have both been cut from the Dolphins. If you guys know anything about Chester Rogers and Ricardo Lewis, both drafted around 2016, or Ricardo Lewis was undrafted, Chester Rogers was undrafted in 2016, signed with Indianapolis. Ricardo Lewis played for Cleveland. So both of those guys were more rotational, didn't see a lot of starting time, if any, and the Dolphins picked both up. Chester Rogers really did not do much of anything during camps. Ricardo Lewis actually had a couple of solid days, but nothing that really impressed Flores and his staff enough to say, let's retain these guys. So they made some cuts ahead of time. As you guys probably know, Saturday is the deadline for our cuts, and this is a different type of cut period now. So on Saturday, we have to drop from right about 80, maybe a little bit over, a little bit under, somewhere right around that many guys on the roster, all the way down to 53. So usually what they'll do is give you multiple cut days where you have to, cut just a certain amount of guys, and they give you more than one. But now we're doing on Saturday, you got to cut all the way down to 53 right away, one cut day, and that's going to be your team. So got ahead of the curve there a little bit. Chester Rogers and Ricardo Lewis are both cut from the Dolphins to be picked up from whatever team is interested. So Chester Rogers, Ricardo Lewis, best of luck to you, and thank you for your time in Miami. One other thing that I do want to touch on before we get into the training camp review, that's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I didn't really go over this or say anything in my last video or two, but Ryan Fitzpatrick's mother just passed away a couple of days ago, and I just wanted to offer out, our best wishes from the channel, from everybody involved. Just, Fitzpatrick, best of luck to you and your family. Thoughts, prayers, whatever you guys believe in. Best wishes, everything going to Fitzpatrick. It is not easy at all to lose a family member, especially your mother. And so, best of luck, best wishes, and all that for Fitzpatrick and his amazing family. So, all right, moving past all of the stuff in the beginning, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Saturday's training camp. So, Saturday's training camp was relatively eventful. But I really do kind of just want to mainly focus on the quarterback play. So I don't believe that Fitzpatrick was a part of the quarterback camp. No, he was. Excuse me. My mistake. He was a part of the camp on Saturday. But the two guys, I just want to touch real quick on Tua and Rosen. And then I've got a little interview, some notes that I took down on what Flores had to say about Tua and his health as well. So that's some important information for you guys. So real quickly, just reading off my notes. So Tua on the day for Saturday, he threw 13 for 23, 119 yards, one interception. Josh Rosen threw 11 for 24, 143 yards, one touchdown, and one pick. Now, the thing about Rosen is he did throw two more interceptions on the day, but they were defensive penalties, so those got negated. So he technically only threw one interception. So not the best day from Josh Rosen, a pretty decent day from Tua. I didn't really read a whole lot on Ryan Fitzpatrick, but this is from the Sun-Sentinel, so I'll go ahead and link the article down below for you guys to check out, so you can give a nice deep read into what the camp looked like on Saturday and kind of go over they, like I said in the last videos, man, they really kind of give you in-depth on pretty much every player who could have made an impact, the guys who missed camp that day, all that stuff. So check out the link down below for sure, read it up, and then let me know what you think of the article in the comments section. So now on to the big stuff. Now on to like the main part of this video. I will probably put it in the title to, let's just go over this. So Brian Flores was interviewed a little bit about Tua following Saturday's practice. So Flores was asked about Tua, how he's doing health-wise, how he's looking on the field. Flores had a lot of great things to say about Tua, saying, he's really improving, taking steps forward, becoming more and more comfortable with the offense, with the system, and his body's looking good. He's looking healthy, moving right to left to right. He's looking like his body is starting to take those steps forward to be ready to play NFL football. It's a great thing to see, and also very, very good to hear from Brian Flores. He's the guy who's really going to determine whether Tua is going to see the field and when he's going to see the field. So good to hear those comments from Flores. But he also did tag along with that. Tua is still only 10 months away from that injury, the hip dislocation. He did chip the wall of his hip socket. I mean, he really messed up his hip pretty bad. So Flores did say he's only 10 months removed from that injury. So, the recovery period, sometimes for these kinds of injuries, man, they take a long, long time. So we're not in a rush to throw this guy onto the field. He's only 10 months away. And I'll read real quick off of my notes. This is what Flores had to say. He said, "He's a great kid. I really do care about him, and I want what's best for him. The injury is definitely a part of the conversation." So the injury, the recovery, when are we going to get him onto the field? That is absolutely a part of the conversation when it comes to what Miami is going to do with Tua. So to those of you who really, really want to see Tua on the field as soon as possible, I would not count on that, because at the end of the day, Brian Flores, Chris Greer, their staff, they know so much more about football in the NFL or football in general than I will probably ever know. They've probably forgotten more about football than I'll ever know in my life. They're just in that position for a reason. They absolutely live football every day. That's who they are. And so, these guys know how to evaluate where players are health-wise, talent-wise, how their body is holding up. And so if Brian Flores is saying we're not really in that much of a rush to throw him onto the field and risk a re-injury, that's their decision for sure, and we'll kind of just have to take that at face value. So for right now, it's looking like Fitzpatrick is going to be the starter. Now Tua could definitely prove that he can be ready for week 1, but it's not a guarantee. He's going to compete, he's going to do everything that he can. And Flores did also say later, no jobs are solidified on this team. I don't believe in you just show up, your job. You know that you're the starter, and you know that you're the second string, and you know that you're the third. He's not about that. That's not what Flores is like as a coach. Flores is very much the best guy in this position is going to be on the field. Now, obviously, this situation is a little bit more complicated with Tua because you do have the health. If we're talking just pure talent, and that's the discussion, then Tua is the clear-cut best quarterback on this team. I don't think anybody would argue that. But it is very complicated. Tua's injury is something that you have to take into consideration when you think about whether you want to see him on the field sooner rather than later. And right now it's looking like Flores might wind up starting Fitzpatrick in the beginning of the season. And as the season progresses, as Tua moves past that year mark of being removed from his injury, and depending on how his body's holding up, if he's able to really kind of understand the game, watch Fitzpatrick grow a little bit on the bench. If by a little bit later in the season, all those things are really coming together and he's healthy, I would expect to see Tua on the field this year. Now, I am a supporter of the idea of just sitting Tua, let him heal up, let him be 1,000,000% healthy, no doubts, no nothing before we put him on the field. So, if he can accomplish that in half the season, if he can accomplish that in less than half the season, as long as he's healthy, that's the only thing that I care about, because the guy's talent is clearly there. He's a very smart kid. So he knows the game. So the only question mark for me is the injury, is the health. So if he's able to get there in a shorter amount of time than I would think, or that others would think, or whatever, that's not really up to you and me. So I'm excited to see what Tua can do on the field and when he's going to be able to do it on the field. So that's pretty much just the wrap up for the training camps on Saturday. This was an article that was released, I think, today. So today's September 1st. So that's, a really interesting article to go read. If you want to catch, like the whole breakdown of what Brian Flores had to say about Tua and about the other quarterbacks, the team in general, But, you know, more specifically, taking a look at Tua's health and where he stands and what he thinks he might want to do with Tua. Definitely feel free to check out that link down below in the description, link to the Sun Sentinel article. It's a really, really great read. So guys, feel free to go check that out. And, you know, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all the support, guys. And be sure, if you like the content on the channel, hit that subscription, you know, hit the bell. Definitely make sure that you're keeping up with the videos that I've got coming out, because we do have a ton of content. We are only a few days away here from being done with training camp, and then we have our official first game September 13th. So we're only 12 days away from game 1 of the regular season. It is just flying by, and I can't wait for football, man. So guys, please hit that bell, like I said, so you can be kept up to date. I got a lot of great videos coming out for you guys soon. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you guys next time. And as always, fins up.